Okay. Oh man, I only have one little rectangle for average rate of change of polynomials. So I'm only familiar, I do not have it mastered. Okay. See if I can figure this out. Where is it? Average rate of change of polynomials. Try again. 4 questions, 4 to 6 minutes. What is the average rate of change of g over the interval -2, 4? Okay, so if I get really stuck, click right here. You can watch the video that explains it, or you can get the hint. It's much better to do that than just try to keep hoping that you figure it out. If you spend the time to actually relearn it from scratch and start this whole quiz all over again, it's going to be easier. But let's see what we can figure out. So it's saying -x squared over 4 plus 7. And then it wants to know what is the average rate of change of g over the interval. So I have to figure out what, right? So if we look at this, here's my x and my y-axis. And this is some kind of parabola over here. Right, goes right through at 7, right? X is 0. When you plug in 0, this will go to 0, add 7. This is the very bottom of my parabola. But I actually need to know what it is when I plug in -2. Well, -2 squared is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. -1 is -1. Oh, this actually is wrong. It's actually an upside down parabola. Right, so the -2, if I plug -2 into here, I will get 1 as my answer. So if I come over here to -2, oh no, I get 6. Sorry, let's start that over. -2 squared is 4. 4 divided by 4 is -1. There is 1. -1. -1 plus 7 is 6. So if I plug in 2, I'm going to get out 6. If I plug in 4, what do I get? Well, 4 squared is 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I get -4 plus 7. So if I plug in 4, oh, this is a -2. If I plug in 4, I'm going to get 3. Now you'll notice we went from -2 over to 4. So this is my run. My rise, I went from 6 to 3. So my rise was -3, right? Because I went down 3. And so the average rate of change, which is just a fancy way of saying slope, right? How is this changing over time? Well, it went from here, oh sorry, it's actually here at 6, and then it's coming down like this. This is a terrible drawing. Let's erase the whole thing. Erase you too. Okay, switch it back to black. Alright, so -2, 6, +4, 3. Right, and the rate of change here is as I go over 6, I go down 3. So it's -1/2, right? My rise is -3. My run is 6. Okay? Try that, check it out. And that's it. Next question. Over which interval does G have an average rate of change of 0? So that means if we plug something in here, it should be the same number here and here. In essence, right, we have, oh, nope, this is an upside down parabola again. We have some kind of upside down parabola here. What's the point of having you here if you're not going to let me draw this? Right, we have some kind of upside down parabola here. And there's some point where it's going to match over here and it's going to match over here. Right? So my rate of change, my rise is 0. We don't even care what the run is, right? Whatever it is, right? This is just going to be 0. Take 0, divide it by something, you're just going to get 0 back. So we just have to plug in these numbers and see what happens. T minus 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 minus 1 is 3. That's not going to turn into 0, so I'm going to stop looking at that one. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So this becomes 5 squared. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So this becomes negative 4 squared. So this isn't going to work. So this one doesn't work. This one does not work. This one does not work. Because if I plug in 1 and 4, I'm going to get different answers. See, if we plug in negative 2, negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So again, we're going to get different answers. Which means it has to be D, but we still want to check it. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Now I plug in 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. We get the same answer either way. So this one's going to have a slope of 0. The rate of change, right? We just went from negative 4, right? We came over here to, right? This is at negative 2, comma negative 4. And then if we follow this whole entire graph, when we get to 4, we're again at negative 4. I didn't go up or down at all, right? If all I look at is this point and this point, it looks like nothing changed. So the average rate of change would be 0 because nothing actually changed. So we're going to pick D. Next question. What is the average rate of change of H over the interval negative 5, negative 1? Now this is very similar to the first problem. All we're going to have to do is plug negative 5 in to our equation, see what we get. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4, and 4 plus 5 is 9. So we know when you're at this one, you're really at 9. And when I look at this next one, negative 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Hey, I didn't go up or down at all. So the rate of change here is just going to be 0 again. So I'm going to put 0 in here, check my answer, and we're golden. Over what interval does f have a positive average rate of change? Now we could calculate all of these. I really don't want to do that, so I'm just going to draw a little graph to see kind of what it looks like. Notice here it says x squared plus 10. Well, the very bottom of that is going to be, you know, if I plugged in 0 for x, it would be right here at 10. And then it's going to go up from there on both sides. So we just have to pick points on here where it's going to have a positive slope. Negative 3 and 3, that's going to be perfectly flat, right? Negative 3 squared is 9, plus 10 is 19. 3 squared is 9, plus 10 is 19. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 10 is 11. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 10 is 14. This one's actually going up, right? It's going from 11 up to 14. Right? This actually has a positive average rate of change. This one, It's going from -4 to -1. That's just going to be going down. And here where it's going from -3, here we are at -3. 1 isn't going to be high enough for it to keep going back up. And we can calculate these, right? 4 squared is 16. 16 plus 20 is 26. This is going from 26 to 11. That's not up. And the bottom one is going from 19 to 11. That's not up. This is the only one that's going up. It went from 11 up to 14. So we know this is the one with a positive average rate of change, or positive slope. We can check that, show our summary. It says I got all 4 out of 4 correct. Hopefully that's helpful in understanding how this one works. You'll notice I still don't have mastery. To get mastery, I'll have to take the unit test. Mastery means I'll get a 4 out of 4. If all I have is this, then I just have a 3 out of 4, which is proficiency. So if I really, really want to get this last one, right, I already have, let's see, I have this one 4 out of 4, 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 4 out of 4, 4 out of 4. Lots of 4 out of 4s, but I have this one that's not. If I want to get that one up to a 4 out of 4, I actually have to redo the entire unit test, which can take some time. So if you're comfortable with 3s, you can leave them at 3s. If you really want to push it to the 4, I'd wait until you have proficiency in every single one. Make sure you feel comfortable with them, and then go ahead and take the unit test to see if you can get those last few up from 3s to 4s. The only way to get a 3 to a 4 is to take the unit test. The only way to get the little crown, which I'm counting the crown as a 4. So again, I hope that's helpful, and I hope that, I'll repeat myself, I hope that helps. Okay.